Hey, here I am. I'm on. How did I do? Oh, I'm on time. Look at that. Just 1 minute after. Welcome, my friends. Here we are. I'm Matt. This is Montara, whatever. It's hard to distinguish, truly. I could start there, right? But maybe I won't. First of all, I'll ID what we're doing. And I know you guys will be climbing on. It takes a while for you guys to get on. But the truth is, most people will watch this in replay of some description. That's just the way it is with live stream Facebook videos. So I'll blab on for a little bit. So what we're doing here, it is, just to let you know, the time frame we're in, it's like half an hour. I've actually forgotten when the new moon is exact, but the eclipse is exact at a slightly different time, which doesn't really matter. I need to go to the next lunation. 16 seconds, 10:06. So right, in 34 minutes, the new moon is exact. It is the Chinese New Year. Today, depends what date they use, but it's new moon now, and it's a lunar thing, right? And there's an eclipse, right, that's visible from Antarctica and the very bottom of South America. Partial solar eclipse, sort of 40% of the sun being covered if you're in the maximum spot to view that, which is standing in a very cold place at the moment. I don't know how many people are doing that. But the point is that the eclipse is strengthening this energy. New moon is a new beginning, a new year, Chinese New Year, only sort of like 1.5 billion people following that. So there's a fair energetic field or morphogenetic field behind that belief system that we can tap into, whether you are into Chinese astrology or not, doesn't matter. This is 1.5 billion people who are. That creates an energy field that you can utilize for your benefit, right? And you can tag into that and allow it to facilitate for you, to instigate, to amplify your intentions, to allow new things to flourish in your life, for new things to begin. And that's a good thing, right? Because most of us are really looking forward to continued evolution, which basically means old things dying and new things starting. That's what evolution is. That's what personal growth is. It's letting go of the old, the less effective ways of doing things, the less spiritual ways of viewing the world. I know that's a loaded term, right? A spiritual way of viewing the world. And maybe I should explain what spiritual means to me, which is basically just connected to spirit. Hey Aries, how are you? And Julie, and there's quite a few more other people, but I don't think I'll get in the habit of welcoming everyone, otherwise it might just be a very slow live stream. So, so here we are at this interesting or potent little energetic juncture in time where the astrology is really working for us. And so we decided to jump on. We've been doing various free or paid events over the last little while around the moons and stuff. And so here we are. Our intention for this live stream, and we are going to be doing light language, which I don't usually do on video, because in my opinion, there's not much to see, but I know most people are going to be curious to see how Matt does it or what he's doing or whatever. So I've chosen bravely to do it on video. I have stepped back a little bit from doing it on Montara's public page. At least in the group, I have a sense of containment with where this will go and who will be viewing it, because the truth is I'm very empathic and when I'm doing stuff to an audience who I really have no idea who they are, it can be, I do receive a lot of judgment energetically for what I do. A lot of people think what I do is very weird. A lot of people think what I am is quite strange, and that's okay. I'm happy with that, but I feel their energy. It doesn't affect me so much, but it certainly puts me off doing what I'm doing, right? If I'm in the flow, allowing light language to flow through me, and I'm feeling people judge me, pinging back at me, which I'm aware of, right? I choose not to let it affect me too much, but I'm aware of it, and therefore mentally it starts cognitive function going that doesn't allow me to channel in the most deep way. So therefore, I choose not to do my light language live to big audiences that I really don't know so well. That's the truth, right? Because it is quite a intimidating experience for me energetically. And I am learning to grow through that, right? That's just part of Matt's evolution. We're all evolving, right? And I'm not one to hide the fact that I'm still evolving, right? I am generally pretty open about the fact that I am not perfect, right? I'm no guru. I'm not sitting on the top of the mountain telling you guys how to become just as good as I am. That's not how I am. I'm glad you found us, Marcy. Well done. Hello. So here we are using this energetic portal of time and space to really bring through the energies that are most conducive to all of you who end up seeing this, who are members of this group, to transform, right? To help you grow, to help you make the changes that are required for you to make new beginnings, to step forward in a powerful way, in an effective way, in an empowered way into your future. Now, so I've got a whole bunch of stuff that people have written in and set their intentions. I'm obviously not going to read through all of that, or we'll be here forever because I'm a slow reader. It is the truth. But the point is, whatever's been written in and whatever you are holding, each and every one of you, whether you're watching this live or whether you're coming back in replay, right? Mantara works in such a way that there is no time and space. And so whatever intentions you are holding, then trust that they are facilitating for you, working with your higher self to help those intentions come to fruition. I'm going to utilize what was written in to help motivate what flows out of my mouth now, but I'm also intentionally holding space that everyone has their intentions heard and facilitated towards, right? It's not that we're magicians and what you intended and we give it to you. That's not how it works, right? We're here to facilitate transformation. That means we help to lubricate your pathway forward into what you're intending to have as an outcome. Setting an intention is great, but you need to maintain your intentions if you expect to have an empowered outcome. If you expect to actualize or manifest what you're intending to manifest, you need to keep doing the work, right? You need to maintain your intentions. You need to keep your mind set on the intentions and not get caught up in all of the reasons why not, right? You're intending to be financially free, for example, or prosperous, or even abundantly rich. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you're choosing in that scale is all fine, right? And everyone has a different connotation of what they would desire. Money's an interesting thing. We could talk for hours about it. But the point is, are you acting in a way that is aligned with your intentions to be financially free, or are you acting against or in cahoots with lack mentality, right? I.e., I want to be financially free, but right now I don't know how I'm going to pay my Visa card and it's really, really stressing me and I'm really, really worried about it and I'm just going to keep looking at the thing and hoping, wanting money comes in, maybe I'll go and buy a lotto ticket, right? That's not abundance. And if you're in that reaction against what you don't want, you are not actually allowing yourself to step into what you have chosen, right? So your intention to be financially free is basically just lip service, and it's not likely to be actualized if you spend all of your time in lack mentality. And I know it's not easy. And I know it's not easy. It's the same with our health. It's the same with our relationships. It's the same with our spirituality, if you like. If it's all very well to have these big goals, these intentions, but if they're just like wanting something, and then if you just hope that you get what you want, you're not likely to get there, right? You are really unlikely to get there. You have to, I don't like using that term, right? It's going to really serve you to step forward in an empowered way towards what you are choosing. So when I say maintaining your intentions, it's not just about reading off what you want to have happen. It's about acting towards them. What can I do today that is in alignment with what I'm choosing to have as an outcome? How can I help it manifest? How can I act in alignment with that energy, right? So a lot of it is very energetic. So it's not getting too caught up in the solutions. So many people, you know, So example, go back to our example. So they intend to become financially free. Then they start thinking, how am I going to do that, right? Externally, how's it going to happen? And quite often they feel stuck. Well, they've got a low-paying job and they don't know how they're going to transition out of that. And all of these, right? So maybe I'll buy a lotto ticket, right? It's the only way that they can see that they're going to become financially independent or financially free. The point is not to get caught up in trying to work out your solutions, because when you go there, you go down this rabbit hole with your mind, which is very limited in what ways you can see can unfold for you, right? Very limited in what ways you can perceive your outcomes are going to come. What we mean by maintaining your intentions or aligning with the energy is really feeling into what financially free feels like to you, and then acting as if you already have those energies. So it doesn't mean going out and spending money here and there as if there's no end to your credit card. It means feeling that you are already financially free, feeling happy in yourself, choosing not to, and a lot of it is about what we choose not to think about, choosing not to engage in the thoughts that flow from lack, right? To choose to opt out of worrying. I know habitually worry is going to come into your mind. If you know your bank account's low and you know you're not so financially abundant, and you open the mail and there's a bill and it's an amount that's a little bit higher than what you expected, then immediately you're going to go into stressful thinking. That's just the reaction, right? So that happens. So don't worry about that. That happens. Now, do you entertain those stressful thoughts? Do you now worry about, obsess about, feel like the victim of this unexpected bill or this bill that's a little bit higher, right? So that's it. You're at choice at this point. You've got the bill. There's nothing you can do about it right now. There is things you can do about it, right? You can phone up the people who've given you the bill, make sure it is correct. You can set up a payment plan for the bill. You can do all sorts of things to help ease that pain. But the thing and taking a positive action is great, but the most important thing not to do is to fall into worrying about or feeling like the victim of or obsessing about, letting the thoughts of this bill go through your mind more and more and more. Hey everyone, I'm glad to see you're all saying hello, and I'm not going to say hello back to everyone who says hello, but I am reading them as they scroll up the screen. The problem is if I start interrupting myself, I lose the plot really quickly. I know this from the live streams I do in my more intimate group, where I'm a little bit more open and I do just flow along and chat with everyone. And it is beautifully organic, but it's perhaps not what I'm intending to do today. So I will keep my chat. I will be open to answering questions as they come up, but I'm not going to keep interrupting myself to say hello to everyone. But just so you know, I'm not being rude. I am reading them all, and I am energetically saying hello back to you all. So please feel free to keep writing in there, but I'm not going to keep bouncing off everyone because Matt gets scattered really easily and comes out of his little channel. So the basic guidance, my friends, for moving forward in an empowered way into new beginnings is to maintain your attention on the energies you're wishing to become, the energies you're wishing to experience, the energies you're wishing to embody, and to stay neutral to the path of getting there, to not worry about how it's unfolding, but to really just allow yourself to follow your heart, follow your intuitive guidance into action steps that are going to serve you. Now, I know everyone just put up their hand and says, but I don't know, my intuition's not very good, right? How do I know that my intuitive guidance is correct? How do I know that it's going to take me where I want to go? Well, my friends, you just have to trust that. I know it's hard. I know we all want proof, right? We all want proof that what I'm feeling to do is going to work. But tell you what, the minute you go looking for intellectual proof that your intuitive guidance is on point, right? That it's going to, because most people, what they want is they want to know that their guidance is going to lead to the outcome that they desire. And the truth is, a lot of the time, your intuitive guidance is going to take you on the pathway towards your outcome, but is not generally or always going to just deliver you the outcome straight off the bat. You don't always go from A to Z in one step, right? So you get guided to go from A to B, you're wanting to go to Z, and you can't see how B is any closer to Z, right? From your perspective, from your mental perspective. So quite often we get intuitive guidance to step forward into something because we want to be financially free, and we take that step forward, and it manifests or instigates a loss of money or something that we perceive as a step backwards. But what it's really done is it's given you the opportunity, or it is part of the process of releasing an energy that you hold in your field that is preventing you from being financially free. So it's working for you, but your mind doesn't understand. And then you start judging and think, my intuition was wrong, right? And it's led me to lose more money when really I want more money. You think becoming financially free is about getting more money. Becoming financially free is about losing your lack mentality, which might mean having to go through a series of losses to get there. Right. So the point is, your mind does not understand spiritual evolution, not one little bit. So forget trying to get proof for your mind that your intuitive guidance is working. Please choose not to go back in hindsight and judge what you were guided to do and think that it was wrong because you didn't get the outcome your mind wanted. Your mind does not know the best way forward. It's far too logical. It just goes, it wants to see that all of the steps are like a staircase. We don't. If spiritual evolution is not a staircase, it's not one step after the other leading in a direct path up. It's not, right? It's I can't even give an accurate metaphor of what spiritual evolution looks like. But needless to say, it's messy and it's complicated. And yet at the same time, if you can trust that your higher self, the higher aspects of you are looking after yourself, and if you can surrender yourself to that process, if you can maintain your intention on the energetic outcome that you are desiring and not contract around each step on the way there, to not contract around each experience of releasing what's holding you back, because truly, the path of spiritual evolution is a path of purification. It's about letting go of what is limiting you. You are already divine. I'm going to read that in a minute, Julie. You are already divine. All that's happened is you've been covered with layer upon layer upon layer of costume and role play and ways of keeping yourself safe, right? And so the point is to strip away all of these layers of concealment from the divine you that's within is a little bit painful. It's quite uncomfortable, right? And it feels like loss. It feels like death. It feels like we're losing things that we are comfortable with. Some people are very, very comfortable with their discomfort, right? The fact that they have a story around why they can't succeed suits them egoically, and they hang on to that, right? So it might be, here's one from this morning that I was answering questions about, an energetic implant. So someone's been told by a quote-unquote healer or a psychic or whatever, there's an implant in them and it's preventing them from doing things, and it's creating tension and pain in the side of the head. Now, that's disempowering, right? Because what do you do about that? Now this person's obviously looking for how to get rid of that implant, right? How do I get rid of it? And they don't feel, obviously, it's not conveyed to them when they get told they've got an implant that, well, it's just an energy, and if you hold your vibration high, then that dense energy will leave, because that's basically what it is, right? I'm not saying that implants don't exist, because they do, but the point is not to put them on a pedestal, not to make a big story about them, and not to allow your ego to go into victim mentality. Oh, I've got an implant and that's why I'm suffering. That's why I can't succeed, right? Because now you have an excuse why you can't succeed. And that serves the ego no end, unfortunately. And the ego doesn't want to let go of the idea that there's an implant, that that's the reason why you haven't succeeded. Because otherwise, what excuse can the ego use as to why you are not happy, why you are not successful, why you are not financially abundant, why you are not doing your purpose work, why you are not attracting the love of your life into your life, why your body is not healthy, right? We want an excuse why we haven't, quote unquote, succeeded. Of course we do. Everyone does, right? I do too. My ego loves excuses as to why I'm not doing as well as I might. So, I know I'm doing a lot of talking, and we are going to only talk for I'm just trying to keep track of the time because I am intending to do quite a decent session of light language to allow everything that I'm stirring up, right? Because I am purposely stirring you up. So if you're feeling stirred up, if you feel like I'm attacking you for being in victim mentality, please don't take it personally. But at the same time, if you feel that pain coming up from within you, then that's good, right? If I'm stirring up stuff that feels uncomfortable, that's great. Because as it comes to the surface, we have a much better chance of releasing it. If you keep it hidden and think, oh, well, I'm not a victim, and yet you're still playing these little stories in your mind about this implant or that, or my parents did this, or I've got this wounded child aspect of me, and I'm working to fix it, and all of this stuff, then, it's victim mentality on a level. Now, so it's fine lines here. Having an awareness that there is an energy in the side of your neck that is acting as an implant and preventing you going forward is fine, right? Having the awareness is great. If you've bought into a story about it, you've become disempowered. So it's a matter of walking this fine line between awareness of what's happened in your past and not allowing that to disempower you, not to allow that to define your future. Okay, so for example, here's another example, carrying off implants ideas, one that's much more obvious to everyone. You've all had a past, and I'm just going to talk about this lifetime. I won't even talk about past lifetime, but the same thing applies, right? So in your past as a childhood, you had experiences. Those experiences helped to form your emotional being state in this lifetime, and that is affecting you today. That's the truth, right? So you have an awareness of how your past as a child is affecting you today. That awareness is empowering, right? Because now you have an understanding as to what has formed you. Your past is forming how you are right now, and it's affecting how you can step forward into your future. But the point is to use that awareness now to take actions and to hold mental intentions and states and energetic states that is going to help you move past that. It's important or beneficial that you don't contract around what happened in your past and feel like the victim of that, and then make a whole story about what you need to do now to release or fix, right? Oh, I'm broken because this happened to me in childhood and now I have to do all of this stuff to fix that. Because the truth is, what happened to you in childhood is just energy. Just like what happened to you in past lifetime is just energy. Just like being abducted by aliens and having implants put in you is just energy. Just like, being tortured through other lifetimes, picking up all sorts of beliefs, making all sorts of oaths, vows, promises in various monastic lifetimes, in various dark lifetimes, in various all sorts of situations you've been in through thousands of past lifetimes, right, that you have under your belt. It's all just energy. And at the end of the day, your physical body, this illusion around us, it's all just energy. We are all existing in just one big sea of energy, and that's all it is. And you, as a being of consciousness, as a divine spark, as an aspect of the divine, have dominion over energy. You get to change it. Now, is it easy? No, it's not easy. Why is it not easy for you as the divine being to just change the energy? Because you're still hanging on to all of these beliefs that you have, right? You have still been indoctrinated. You still have all of this experience under your belt that your human self holds very, very real, right? You're holding very, very real all of this experience that you've had, all of this proof that you had that, wow, gravity is true, right? Because I know when I fall off something, I hit the ground hard, right? That builds up belief system, right? That's evidence to prove that things are just as they are, right? Isn't it better to remove the charge from those imperfect times so that one can simply move on? Exactly, Liz. It is great to do that. But the problem is, to remove the charge, it's not just magic, right? Because no one has dominion in your energetic field. So I can say I can go in there and remove that charge, but if you're not in alignment with me, if you, the client, is not in alignment with me, the facilitator, in allowing that charge to be removed or diminished so that you can step forward, then it doesn't happen, right? Because I tell you what, no healer on this planet can change your energetic field. Not on their own, not without your permission, not without you believing that it can happen, not without you actually putting your intentions behind it. because you are a sovereign being. You are never the victim of anything. No dark entity can come into your field and change you just for the sake of it. They can't. You have to be tricked into allowing that to happen. And that happens, right? That happens. And just as you need to also be warmed up, if you like, by the facilitator, that it can happen as well. I've created spaces with light language that are incredibly inviting for people to transform. And yet some people make great progress and some people don't. What's the difference? Whether they buy in or not, whether they are open, whether their intellectual, egoic self allows the transformation to occur. And so, right, you can't just be fixed by anyone else. You cannot be just fixed by anyone else. That's the point of what I'm talking about here, is please don't disempower yourself. If someone tells you you have an implant, great, but don't lose your power to that. If someone tells you, you know, you've had a past lifetime as Mary Magdalene, great. But what are you going to do with that? Right? At the end of the day, this lifetime, this spirituality, of this experience of you being a spiritual being in a human body, having this life, is about what you choose to do with each and every breath that you take. It's all about right now. It's all about where you're projecting your energy in each moment. That's it. That's it. Now, as you can consistently project your energy into areas that you wish to experience, then it'll happen. But the point is, most people don't do that. Most people have a lot of trouble doing that. And it's a slow evolution to get people empowered enough to really choose that for themselves, to really consistently choose to direct their energy in empowered directions consistently. It's a process, right? You're not supposed to be able to do it just easily, because you have a history behind you that has educated your intellectual self into believing it is a certain way. We've all been trained in this life to put a lot of effort into analyzing our problems and in trying to solve our problems. We get very, very caught up in the fix-it mentality, where you become aware that there's something wrong with you, and now you put a lot of effort into trying to work out how to change it. You've been told that hard work pays dividends, right? That if you keep working hard, you will overcome it. And there's truth to that in a way, but a lot of people get far too contracted around that, and they are not open to experiencing miracles. And at the same time, I'm here to tell you, don't just sit back and wait for a miracle. You have to create miracles. But the point is to walk this line between allowing your logical mind to influence what you think can happen, and at the same time, not just sit back waiting for God or your higher self or spiritual beings, the aliens, the Palladians, to come and fix things, because you're going to be waiting a while, right? It's up to you to embrace who you are, know that you are God, and that's a slow evolution as well. You can't, some people do have instantaneous awakenings or see a beautiful inspiration towards that. But most of us go through the process of slowly and surely evolving into knowing ourselves as quote-unquote God, source, or universe, right? We know ourselves to be a more empowered being. We slowly but surely, through our experiences, our meditative experiences, our lucid moments, our dreams, start to understand that we are far more than a human in a body. It's a slow evolution, and it happens with time, as our energy rises. Now, as our energy rises, we are also consistently needing to go through the process of purification, because as our energy rises higher, then the limitations or the dense energies that we carry, those energies from our childhood, those energies from past lifetimes, those icky shards of emotional energy, those disempowered beliefs, they can't stay in our field. They become discordant with the vibration that you're vibrating at. As your vibration rises higher and higher to more, whatever vibrations, higher vibrations, right? Close, more aligned with love, more aligned with divinity and joy, then the denser energies of guilt and shame and anger, retribution, right? They can't stay in your field. The victim mentality energies, the energies of lack, can't stay in your field. They don't just vanish. They don't just vanish. Energy just doesn't vanish. It has to move on. And so as it comes out of where you've hidden it from yourself, you experience it. And that's not comfortable. It's not comfortable for anyone. But if you can experience the dense energies rising up and out of you and stay relatively neutral to them, So that doesn't mean ignoring them completely, but it certainly means not allowing them to instigate what you're thinking about, to not allow them to railroad you and not to grab your attention and have you go into fixing mode. See, this is what happens to most people. They choose to become financially free, right? They choose that. This is the vibration I'm choosing to embrace. And they do a great job. They start aligning with financially free. Then what happens is their vibration rises closer to financially free, and the lack mentality that they've got hidden within them comes up to release. Great. That's an empowered experience. It's a perfect experience. That's part of evolution. But now this lack mentality comes to the surface and it feels terrible and it takes their attention. Now they're looking at this lack mentality and wondering why. I've been focusing on financially free. Why am I feeling all of this lack in my field? What do I need to do to fix this? Now, as you start focusing on the lack, generally what you'll now do is manifest an experience of lack. So now that big bill comes in to mirror what you were releasing, right? Because it's got your focus, and so that's what you're creating. And now you have evidence to prove that, oh, I am in lack because look, I can't afford this. And now you go down, tumbling down this lack road. The financially free that you were supposed to be, that was your intention to focus on now, is gone out the window, and you are putting all of your energy back into lack. You re-establish lack as the ruling energy in your field, and the financially free is gone. Now, over some time, you get over it and you come back to, oh, that's right, I'm choosing to be financially free. And you put your attention back into financially free, your vibration starts rising towards it, and once again, a vibration of lack comes to the surface to be released. It's coming to the surface to be released, but unfortunately you focus on it and therefore you reinforce it, right? What you focus on, you reinforce. What you focus on, you feed, and what you feed grows stronger, right? Reinforcement. So the point is to allow the vibration that's opposite to what you are focused on to rise to the surface and to be present in your field as it releases without it taking your attention. Now, that is not easy. I've never said it's easy. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for any of my clients. But as you grow more empowered in that process, then it starts happening more quickly. You don't experience the release for as long, and you have now a body of evidence, or you have a habit now of staying neutral to it. As you have embrace that habit of staying neutral to it, it becomes easier and easier to stay neutral to it. And you are less and less likely to get railroaded by what you are releasing. And then all of a sudden you start going through this process much more quickly. Now, of course, every now and again, something that's particularly triggering comes up to be released, and it does grab your attention, and you go through that process again. You fall down the hole and you have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and lesson learned and move on, right? It's not that all of a sudden you just get on the motorway and there's no having to stop for gas ever again. You're just going there. We all have times where we get knocked off our perch, right? Everyone, even the greatest successful people on the planet have, times where they lose their mojo, lose their momentum, right? They lose their momentum and they just pick themselves up and have to start again. They've done it before, they'll do it again. It's part of being a human in a body. Okay, so let me just quickly scroll through what was asked for here, the intentions that have been set. I'm not going to read through everything. I'm just going to hit the high points before we move into a light language experience that is here to really facilitate your empowerment with this process, right? To help you more easily stay neutral to what you are releasing and to more easily stay engaged with or embraced, focused on where you are going, your big intentions, right? These intentions that you've listed off here, the empowered ones, right? I know a lot of people list their intentions as I want to get rid of this and I want to get rid of that and I want to get rid of this. Please choose to put your intentions on the positive side. Having an awareness that you need to get rid of all of that stuff before you can have what you're choosing is okay, of course, right? That's just because you've got an awareness of what's holding you back. Perfect, Patricia, becoming the goddess that I am, right? So, perfect. So understand that to become the goddess that you are, you're going to have to release the what's the right word? Disempowered human that you currently are, right? And I'm not putting you down, Patricia, but we all are, right? Disempowered humans where we have these limitations. And so the point of what I was just making is put your intentions on where you are going and trust that whatever's holding you back will be released by default. You don't need to go looking for what is holding you back. So many people make that mistake, right? They want to become financially free, and they realize it's lack mentality that's stopping them from becoming financially free. And so now they put a lot of their effort into trying to fix their lack mentality. What you focus on is what you strengthen. So take your attention off the lack mentality that you know you need to release and put your attention back on financially free, right? Because that's what you want to strengthen in your field. And understand, without a doubt, that lack mentality will come up, right? It will come up because it cannot stay in your field while you are strengthening financially free. This goes the same thing with safety, right? As you choose to feel safe, which is a very foundational energy, if you choose to really feel safe in this world, you are going to have to face your not safe, your fears. When you choose to become really worthy, you're going to have to face all of the I'm not good enough, all of the self-doubt that you've been carrying, right? That's just part of the process. Hey, Sister Aisha. So, here we go. Let me read through some of this stuff. Vyoma, maybe. Sorry, me pronouncing names is not a good thing. I would love help with forgiving myself. Yes, forgiveness is a great, I'm just going to talk on forgiveness because it is a great vibration. Forgiveness is a beautiful tool, a beautiful vibration that is very lubricating to the path of transformation, right? As we allow forgiveness to be more present in our energetic field, it's much more easy for us to release judgments that we're holding. Now, the thing with judgments is when we judge something that happened in our past as right or wrong, when we judge someone else who's in our life as right or wrong, good or bad, helpful or not, they did this, they did that, that was wrong, that was right. When we hold those judgments, we unfortunately hold in place all of the energy that those experiences or those situations or those people have created in our life. So, for example, if someone persecuted you, if someone abused you as a child, right? Now you are holding judgment against them. You're feeling a lot of hatred towards that person. You feel like you were victimized by that person. Very understandable. But the problem is, as you hold that tight, the judgment that they did the wrong thing, then all of the energy that they created, all of the pain that they created, all of the emotional abuse energy that they created in your field, you hang on to that too. You hang on to that like it is evidence that you're going to use to prove to someone or something that that person did the wrong thing. Right? Like you're going to have your day in court in front of God or whatever, and you're going to prove that that person who abused you as a child did the wrong thing and they caused all of this pain. Now, unfortunately, my friends, I have to tell you that you're never going to get your day in court. Right? That idea that there's some fairness system in the universe is, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, of course, is not the truth. Right? And so the point is you holding on to that judgment and then subsequently holding on to all of that pain is only hurting yourself. Yes, they did quote unquote the wrong thing, but you holding on to the judgment and therefore holding on to all of this evidence, all of this energetic discordance in your field is only hurting you. You're not actually hurting the person who perpetuated, or whatever the proper word that I wanted to say is, who did the abuse, right? You're not hurting them by holding on to the judgment against them. You are only hurting yourself. So that's just an example, right? And this goes through all sorts of things in life, right? The abuse of the child one is just a triggering one and a very, very obvious one. But we do this all the time with all sorts of things, right? We see someone who's rich doing the wrong thing and we judge them as some greedy rich bastard who doesn't care about the world, right? And then we hold that. And now all of our pain against rich people, against money and the greed that money does in the world is being held on to. And that's limiting our ability now to own money ourselves. The judgment that you have against that rich guy that you saw doing something despicable to the environment or despicable to a third world country, or even just, driving his fast car like a dickhead, that is. I'm sorry, I was going to say that. Through past the school, right? And you judge him as being some greedy rich so-and-so, right? I've done this and I've had to work a lot to release all of these judgments I hold to people who have abused their money, because I understand that me judging people who have abused money is actually holding me out of the opportunity to have money myself, right? Because of this way it works. It's all of this emotional energy gets stacked up behind the judgment. So forgiveness is a really powerful vibration. How am I going for time? Forgiveness is a really powerful vibration. And the point is, Forgiveness is not a mental practice. It's not an analytical tool. It's not that you go and look at what they did and then find reasons why they did it and then somehow logically work out that it was okay that they did it, or it's not okay that they did it, but you're going to understand that they did it because they were confused. You don't need to do any of that, really. You don't need to justify why they did what they did in any way, shape, or form. Forgiveness is an energy, just like love. It is a very compassionate, unconditionally loving vibration. And you can invite the vibration of forgiveness to flow through your field in all time, spaces, dimensions, and realities, and release you from the judgments that you're holding, those judgments that you're holding from experiences that you've had in the past, so that you can release all of the emotional energy, all of the traumatic energy, all of the belief systems that were created out of those experiences can release much more easily if they're not being held to support a judgment that you might not even be consciously aware that you're still holding, right? Because you're doing this to things that happened in past lifetimes. You're not consciously aware of why you haven't forgiven certain section of society, why you have a distaste for people who look a certain way. It's because, no doubt, you are judging what happened in past. You probably went to war with those people under false pretenses in other lifetimes and have experienced all sorts of horrendous experiences, and it's made a mark on you, and you're still energetically holding on to that. Now, you don't need to go back and intellectually understand that all of that happened, right? Not the specifics of it, but when you understand that all sorts of stuff has happened in the past and all sorts of terrible stuff has happened in the past, specifically the last 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years, this place has been very dark and all sorts of horrendous things have gone down and they have left their marks in your energetic field, and it's going to really serve you if you can release all of it. And part of releasing all of it is to allow forgiveness to lubricate that pathway. Perfect, Aries. Feeling that I am enough. And there's nothing that you need to get. It's just a practice of releasing what's not serving you. Okay, so let me quickly go through this. So bringing in forgiveness, Mary Sykes, choosing to be more compassionate with myself, right? Which is self-judgments, which is along the lines of forgiveness, right? Forgiving self, being compassionate with self, understanding that we've all made mistakes and none of us are perfect on this planet. We're not supposed to be and we don't need to be. So being compassionate with even, the process that I've just talked about, stepping forward and, maintaining your attention on where you're going rather than getting caught up with what you're releasing, you're all going to fail and you're all going to stumble with that practice. When I mean fail, I mean momentarily fail, where you get caught up in what you're releasing, right? And so beating yourself up for not managing to do that process well doesn't help, right? Because it only lowers your vibration further. So being compassionate with the understanding that you're a human and you're carrying a lot of discordance from the past is really important. Cutting yourself some slack, allowing yourself to laugh as you go along this process. It's not nearly as serious as you want to make it, right? You're going to die, just like all of us are going to die, and you're going to step back out of this human body and you're going to view it and you're going to see just how insignificant it was, right? Truly, I'm not trying to make you feel small, but you, the being, only a very small percentage of you is having this human's life, most of you, right? And while it is precious and it is a great opportunity, it's not nearly as important as your personality is making it out to be. And you don't need to be nearly as serious as you're choosing to be. And the fact is, if you choose not to be so serious, if you choose to lighten up, be more expansive and laugh from time to time, you're going to go much more quickly through this process. You're going to have much better outcomes if you stop making this process of spiritual transformation so serious. That's the truth. Okay, so Maria, yes, is Maria. I really wish to achieve true financial freedom and want to meet my soulmate, and I want to be a healer and step forward I'm putting these words into your mouth now, step forward in an empowered way into really owning your own self. Hey, Kate. Marcy asked, I ask for support to allow me to be able to let go, detach, and not cling to my beliefs, stories, and visions of the past. Right? Perfect. So that you can move more into connection with your higher self in love, self-love, acceptance, abundance, good relationships, excellent health, prosperity, clarity, worthiness, right? Awakenness, moving into helping society. Barbara, setting healthy boundaries in a compassionate and empowering way, right? So that's a great one, because boundaries is one where we really do, a lot of us have trouble really finding that balance between needing to and wanting to enforce our boundaries and yet still maintaining this compassion and this understanding that people are going to push our boundaries, and boundaries are allowed to be fluid. They're allowed to be flexible. Right? If you set rigid boundaries, if you're a rigid person, you are likely to break in trying to maintain them. Boundaries is really about, in the moment, what feels appropriate to you and what doesn't, right? Setting rules about, I'm not going to let people do this and I am going to let people do that, right? Because all rules, there's always a, what's the rule? There's always an exemption to all rules, right? All rules have exemptions. That's the truth, right? Rules are very, well, I won't say very, but quite a low vibrationary way of trying to do the world. We're going to see as we evolve as a society that rules are going to become less and less important, and we're going to trust people more and more to act from their own heart. And we're going to trust people that if someone's acting from their heart, that they're doing something that's going to serve the all. And we're going to get less and less contracted around setting rules for society and then needing to enforce them, right? You must not do this and you must do that, right? We're going to get out of shoulds and shouldn'ts much more as we evolve as a society and as we evolve as a people, right? Each and every one of us personally are going to let go of rules. So religious indoctrinations that say we must be kind all of the time, because sometimes it's not appropriate to be quote unquote kind, because being kind is going to allow you to be used as a doormat, right? So what's more important is that you are aligned with your heart and you act integrity with your heart, and trust that if you're acting integrity and alignment with your heart, that you're going to do things that serve people, even though it might not look kind, right? You might have to employ tough love. You're going to get out of the idea of always needing to be kind and be much more aligned with doing what serves, right? And it's tough. It's tough because humans like these rules. They like structures. Our egoic mind likes structures, right? And we like to have things to cling to and to be sure of, right? The problem is it's very hard to be sure of anything you feel to do from your heart, because there isn't real conclusive proof for your mind, right? There just isn't. There just isn't. People ask me when I'm channeling, how do you know it's so-and-so? And I say, well, I don't. Does it matter, right? You know, sometimes I channel and I feel that I'm channeling Jesus, for example. Now, do I know it's Jesus? No, I don't. I just feel that it is. And that's why generally I don't say, well, I'm channeling Jesus right now, because a lot of people will go one way or the other. They'll either disbelieve me and want to prove that it's not, or they'll want to believe me and then take whatever I've said as gospel, right? Pun intended. And the point is that whatever I say should be taken on the merits of how it resonates for you right now, right? Not based on who you think I'm channeling, because that's disempowered, right? If you're just going to take on board what something is said because you implicitly trust the source of that information, that's not empowered. I'd encourage you to do that with no one on this planet. You should not trust anyone on this planet. The only entity you should trust is your own heart, your own higher self, your own connection to God. That's it. That's all you should trust. Everything else you should view with skepticism. Not trying to find error with everything that happens, right? Not being negative, but feeling in your heart whether what they're saying resonates or not. Because if you're just going to take whatever they say on board because you quote unquote trust them, that's disempowering you, right? You are just as powerful as anyone else on this planet. You are powerful. You are just as powerful as anyone else, anything else in this whole entire cosmos. You are exactly the same bit of God that everyone else and everything else is. There is no reason why you should give your power to anyone or anything else. Sure, come to healers and facilitators like myself and allow yourself to be inspired by that. Allow yourself to partake in their facilitation if it feels like it's going to help you to move forward into you knowing more of who you are. There's nothing disempowered about doing that, right? That's an empowered action step to take. To ask for help is empowered, but to just accept information that's given to you and then take it on board like it's quote unquote gospel is not empowered. That goes for everything I say, right? Okay, Aries wrote in, I'm choosing to have help in knowing that I am enough, right? Not just for this moment, but ongoing and growing. Julie, letting go of what others have told me, what they see for me, right? Exactly, this is just what I've just been saying. What has already been decided by my higher self, making I feel like I have no choice in life, right? And I think I wrote back at the time, I'm not going to get into it, but to say that, you know, everything is dynamic. Everything is dynamic. And yes, your higher self is making directive choices for what experiences they subject you, the personality, to, right? They are influencing what we're having as an experience, right? Yes, so no one is more advanced than you, Julie. That's the point. And so, but your higher self is not just putting you through tests, is not making you jump through hoops, and does not want to see you get it, quote unquote, right, or that you must achieve a certain thing. It's more like an experiment for your higher self. They set things up and then they see how you respond to it. And you don't need to feel like a victim of that. Your higher self loves you immensely. They created you in their image to have experiences on their behalf, right? So they can experience life through you as an aspect of them, right? I'm not going to get too much into that or I'll go down a deep rabbit hole. But anyway, Sherry wrote in, thankful to receive guidance on moving forward to another job, right? So taking action steps to get out of, because jobs are right, can be really limiting to us when we in lack mentality and think that, you know, we're trapped by needing this money to survive. And yeah, we all need money to survive, right? But then it can be very, very hard for us to allow ourselves to expand out into the possibility that there are other ways that we can earn a living, other ways that are much more expansive for us, much more enjoyable for us, feel much more purposeful for us, that still provide us with an income that we can use to survive. So yes, all of these intentions are going into the light language that's about to burst out of my mouth, so I've got to keep going. Denise wrote in, I'm extremely sensitive to energy and would love to learn how to use the energy in my hands. Right, so it's just trusting yourself, Denise, it really is. How are you going to learn to use the energy in your hands? You're just going to have to start practicing. Right, you don't need to be trained. You've done it before. I'm sure I talked about this with you in your personal session, which was a while ago for me to remember. But, you know, you're not a new soul here on the block. You've been around for a while. You are very energetically sensitive. You have the ability. Just get over your own doubts and get out there and start doing it. Start doing it. You have to trust that the energy is flowing out of your hands and that it is having an effect, even though intellectually you can't see how it's happening, right? I had to trust that my light language served people before I had the proof that it did. I didn't know that it was working. It's the truth. The only way I've learnt that my light language is really powerful is by being willing to experiment with people and seeing them evolve, right? Getting their feedback and seeing their life improve. That's the only way it can happen. Because it doesn't matter what information you get from spirit, it doesn't matter what inklings or understandings or dreams you have, none of that is substantial proof for your intellectual mind. The intellect is inherently doubting. And that's perfect, right? It's supposed to be that. It's supposed to be the check measure that keeps us looking at things and feeling in deeper as to whether we take it on face value or whether there's something else going on. Doubt is an important aspect of being a human. It keeps us safe. It keeps us progressing. It keeps us evolving, right? I know the problem is many of us have given that doubting mind too much power and now it's limiting us. Now that check measure is being used to keep us stuck. It's a matter of just resetting the balance between our heart and our mind. Okay. Catherine Darrow, to help me wholeheartedly into thriving as the confident, brilliant, sovereign being that I am. Much love to everyone here. Perfect, Catherine. Emily, to trust that my life is unfolding in the most timely and appropriate manner, to allow God and my guides to direct me without resistance. Okay, so I want to talk quickly about that. I can't help myself, right? So understand that God and your guides guiding you is not going to be nearly as obvious as you probably want. We all want, myself included, want to hear voices in our head or to see visions that are very easy to interpret and are very easy for us not to doubt. And the point is, in my experience and the experience of a lot of my clients and people I've talked to and other facilitators I work with, that's not how it is. It's not nearly as obvious as we want it to be. So trust that you're already getting that guidance and trust that as subtle as it is, it's there for you. And for you, it's just a matter, for everyone, it's just a matter of stepping forward past your doubts and following that subtle guidance. The truth is, as you follow the subtle guidance, you develop that pathway, that the subtlety of the guidance becomes easier and easier to follow. And rather than the guidance getting more and more obvious to you, you just become more and more in tune with the guidance that is flowing to you, and it becomes easier and easier for you to follow. The doubts have less effect on you because you are seeing a body of evidence to prove that when you follow this guidance, it works for you. So that's it. Your resistance is just the doubting mind, and it is in your control. And so relax around it and allow it to unfold. Jennifer, knowing and trusting that all is well and I will be provided with. Right, that's right, you've quit your job. Clarity on the next steps around career. So trust, Jennifer. Trust yourself to really follow your heart forward into whatever is coming next for you. Perfect, right. I am too scared to go looking anywhere else because I know I've almost sucked up a whole hour, and I really, really, really wish to get into light language, which is what I intend to do right now. I just need to have a quick drink. Okay. And so what I wish to say before I disappear out of my mind completely is that I know I just read through a bunch of people's intentions, and I know many more of you may have written your intentions up and I didn't get to read them. Many of you are holding your intentions within you, and that is fine. Whether you're listening to this live or listening to it in the future, trust that your intentions are going to be met in this light language experience, right? Trust that we can't take you from A to Z in an instant. There's a process that's going to unfold here. And so the pathway forward is to just allow stuff to come up, right, to release. Your intention is to move forward in an empowered way and to have an empowered outcome. And the way you're going to get there is to release what's holding you back from that. And so our intention is not on what you need to release. Our intention is on where you're going forward. But the experiences that you'll most likely have as you move forward from here is ones of release. So it's very easy to get frustrated thinking, well, I want to have the outcome, and yet I seem to be having all of these opposites occur. So understand that the opposites that are occurring is part of the process of getting to your outcome. So don't begrudge the process of purification, because it's leading you forward into the outcome that you desire, right? That's where most people fall over with doing this process, right? Because they want their outcome, they lose patience in waiting for it, and then they start begrudging or resisting the process of releasing what's holding them out of having their experience. Okay, my friends, so here we go. I'm disappearing out of my mind. For those of you who are very new, haven't heard my light language before, I'll just quickly say that it is quite unusual. It's much quicker than most people's light language. It will feel a little bit like it's shaking you. It is quite powerful. Many people have visceral experiences, right? They feel stuff moving in their body with this light language. And some people won't, and that is fine, right? It's not about what you're feeling, but please just relax and trust that it's basically setting up a space around you. It's not that Matt or Mantara is going into your field and trying to change you. We set up a very, very conducive environment. We take you out of your normal everyday mind, and we create an energetic space around you that is very conducive or helpful for your higher self, the aspect of you that created you, to come into your field to make these changes. And we supply energy technicians, we supply, the help for your higher self to do that. Because obviously if it was easy for your higher self to change you, they would have done so already. So we're here to facilitate for your higher self, to help your higher self. Much like we're like the anaesthetists in an operating theatre. Doesn't matter how good the heart surgeon is, the heart surgeon knows they can't fix your heart if they don't have an anaesthetist to put you asleep, right? That's just the way it is. Doesn't matter how good a surgeon they is. Doesn't matter how much you say, I'll just lie here. I'll just lie still. You just do it, right? I need my heart fixed. They know they can't. They can't cut your heart open. They can't cut your chest open with you still conscious. It just isn't going to happen, right? So not that we're strictly like an anaesthetist. We're not going to put you asleep right now, but we are fulfilling that role so that your higher self, who's like the surgeon in the analogy, can operate in your field more effectively. We are creating that space that it can happen. And we're holding intentions that you have the most empowered outcome. And yes, Shelley, we are holding the space of this energy throughout the whole broadcast. It's not that it's just the light language, it's the energy session. The whole thing, I transmit a lot of energy while I'm talking in English as well. And even when I'm not talking at all, right, just holding a space, that's an intentional thing that I do. And why can I do that? It's not that I'm a special person. It's just that I've trained myself to believe that I can do that. And I've had successive experiences where it's been proved to me that I can do that. So now I believe even more strongly that I hold a very energetically transformational space, and therefore it is, right? So as I believe it, so it is. You can do the same. And it's just a matter of working step by step by step into the process where you strongly believe. And the only way you're going to strongly believe is through trial and error, is through experimentation, is through trying it and doing it, right? Because just to hold a blind belief that you can do something isn't enough, right? We've all seen the kid on the rooftops blindly believing that they can fly and jumping off the roof and hitting the ground really hard, right? That's not enough. To be able to fly, you need to slowly work up to it and prove to yourself that you can do it. And then you have the belief that you can do it. And then you can do it, right? Same with energy work, right? I know flying is a rather far-fetched idea that I believe is possible. But anyway, no, I don't. I don't fly. But I believe I could if I put enough effort into working up to it. That's the point. But I don't need to, right? That is also the point, is what's the purpose of it? I don't have that purpose behind it. And things need to be purposefully driven for you to really succeed, right? If you just want to be rich for the sake of being rich to prove that you're a proper person, you ain't going to get the money. If you have a reason for being financially free, if you have a reason what you're going to use that money to do, if you're going to use it in purposeful ways for yourself and for others, then you have the energy that's going to drive you into achieving those outcomes, right? So get out of just trying to tick off the list of the things that you think you need to have. You need to have reasons behind. If you want to get healthy, why do you want to be healthy? What are you going to do with your healthy body, right? Utilize that impetus to take you forward into health. Because if you're just trying to become healthy so that you can say that you're now healthy and then feel okay about yourself, because not feeling healthy leads you to feeling judgment about yourself that you're quote unquote not right, that's not enough, right? Just proving yourself as being right is not enough to instigate the changes that you want to have happen in your life. You need to have a solid reason, a purposeful reason why you wish to attract that soulmate into your life, why you wish to be healthy, why you wish to have the money to do certain things, why you wish to develop your spiritual gifts. Not just to make life easy, because I'll tell you what, it doesn't. Developing spiritual gifts does not make your life easy. Right? So get out of that idea, because I've talked to far too many people who want to just develop their spiritual gifts because then they think life is going to be easy. Then they're going to have some direct connection with their guidance system and they're just going to get told what to do. No, you will never be disempowered in that way. You, the human, will always have choice and you'll be left to make your choices. That's the truth. Okay, my friends, here we go. So light language coming through to facilitate the space that is going to be conducive to you stepping forward in a powerful way, in a purposeful way, into the outcomes that you desire for yourself. Much love, keep breathing, stay relaxed, allow it to all work for you. You don't need to understand this process, you don't need to judge it, keep breathing, stay relaxed, and enjoy it as best you can. Here it comes, my friends. Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabibu, Takashi Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Inkituki Shabikika, Velabokrabi Shabikika, Velabokrama Shabikika, Velabokrami Mokrababo, Rabibu, Rabakabashi Shabikika, Inkituku, Takashi Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Inkituki Shabikika, Velabokraba Shabikika, Velabiki Shabikika, Vadu Takashi Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Inkituki Shabikika, Velabokra, Takabi Makarabaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Inkitu Shabikika, Velabokramana Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Inkishi Shabikika, Velabokrababy Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika. Release. Kaki Shabikiko, Vadu, Shabikika, Vadabibika, Kishi Shabikiko, Inkitu, Takabiba, Bakama Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikika, Vadu, Takashi Shabikiko, Vadu, Takashi Shabikika, Untakabi Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikiko, Inkitu, Takashi Shabikika, Valabokrababy, Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikiko, Inkitu Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikika, Valabokramaka Shabikika, So breathe, my friends. Allow yourself to breathe in. To inspire. Allow yourself to draw in. And really connect to the energy that you be. You're not reaching out for something that you want to be. You're really just choosing with confidence the energy that you are. The truth. Beyond, beneath. All of the discordance. Beneath the roles that you're playing. Beneath the beliefs that you hold. Beneath the traumas that are influencing your ability to show up. Those energies that trigger you when you find yourself in a certain situation. Allowing yourself to go beneath or beyond or above all of that. However you perceive it. Allowing yourself to inhale and to expand out of the limited view you have of yourself. Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Ako Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Ako Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Inkitakishi Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, Velabokramaka Shabikika, with that inhalation, you're inspiring yourself to connect more inherently with the divinity that you are. It's not foreign to you. It is your essence. And you're just inviting it to become more present in your being. You might feel it here in your solar plexus, in your lower upper abdomen. As you breathe in, you feel that part of your body expand. And you feel like a ball of golden light growing in your abdomen. Your strength, your confidence, your willpower, self-esteem, courage, authentic confidence. You're choosing. It's your choice to choose that for yourself. Now add on another layer as you choose to invite more of an experience, more of a an authentic experience with who you truly are. Allow yourself to add on your intentions. Financial freedom, career, relationships, feeling inherently confident in yourself, allow yourself to feel your gifts coming with that energy, allow yourself to align with purposeful activity. Allow your body to draw from that energy and heal, to strengthen itself, to balance itself, your nervous system, your endocrine system, your circulatory system, your immune system, allowing health to flourish, mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, and now trust that as you exhale, each and every time that you exhale, you will be releasing what is antagonistic to what you have chosen. As you choose to step up and feel safe in the world, naturally you will be releasing with the exhalation the fear that you're not safe. And you will feel that. And that's entirely appropriate. That's entirely appropriate. So do not contract. Choose not to contract around what you feel coming up to release. Not just now in this session, but as you move forward into the future. For this practice is something that is ongoing. The more that you consistently practice to breathe into your future and breathe out your past, to breathe in the light and breathe out the darkness, to breathe in your dreams and to breathe out your limitations, then you will progress. But it is a process. It's a process. And it does take trust. And it does take commitment. Commitment to yourself. You don't need to be committed to me. You don't need to be committed to Mantara. You don't need even to be committed to your own guides. You need to be committed to yourself. To show up consistently for yourself. To make choices that are aligned with your own best outcome. You know what would serve you. Generally, we all know what would serve us on a deep level. But unfortunately, we let our fears and our indoctrinations railroad us into choosing what we think is easy or what we think is appropriate. We let our fears limit our ability to do what we know would serve us. Because we want to be sure, we want to play it safe. We're not willing to take the risk. The risk of failing, the risk of succeeding, the risk of being judged. Have compassion with yourself, my friends. As you choose to step forward into this new energetic beginning, and this new opening of time and space, trust that it won't be easy. And have compassion with yourself as you stumble. It's not about being perfect. No one's judging you. God, source, or universe is not judging you. Your higher self is not judging you. You disappoint no one other than yourself. Your own egoic self is the one who gets disappointed. Spirit doesn't have the same concept of time. They don't get desperate to see your your success. They hold their intentions for your success, and they know you will get there. But they don't mind how many times you stumble on the way there. They don't get disappointed. They're compassionate, but not disappointed. So let go of the idea that you are failing in anyone else's eyes, or disappointing anyone else. And just choose as best you can in each moment of now what you're aligning with and what actions you're choosing to take. Two sides. What energy are you aligning with and what action are you choosing to take? You have that choice in each and every moment. I know sometimes you have agreed to be at work and do actions that someone else wants you to do, but you can still choose what attitude you take into those actions, and you can still definitely choose what energy you're choosing to align with. You can feel like you're the victim of having to be at that work and do work that you don't feel inspired by. You can feel like you're in slavery just to get the money to survive. You have that awareness that that is a certain aspect that's going on. But for you to stay in that mentality while you're at work doesn't serve you. Drags your energy down. You feel like a victim. And you have the opportunity, you have the choice, you have the ability to choose to hold yourself in a high vibrationary state while you're doing things that you don't enjoy. You have the choice to understand that as you hold this high vibrationary state while doing things that you don't enjoy, that you are actually furthering your progress. You are actually taking concrete steps to releasing what's holding you back and to embracing what does your outcome that you deserve, you desire, you wish to have. And just to be honest, just to be clear, you don't need to coat everything with sugar. You don't need to be smiley, smiley, happy, happy when things are really not going well. Be honest. Be open. You don't need to cover everything with sugar. But choose not to dwell on how bad things are. Choose to maintain an energy, an intention, an understanding, a belief that things will get better. They might be terrible right now. And you don't need to take any of that terribleness away. But don't allow terrible right now to dictate how your future is going to be. Don't draw a conclusion about how each and every day is going to unfold from now on. Don't go into a depression thinking that it's impossible for you to improve your situation. For there is no impossible in this universe. Everything is possible. And the thing is, you don't need to figure it out. If I had $1 for every time someone said yes, but I don't know how, I'd have quite a few $100. You don't need to figure out how. The how will present itself as you hold the energy, as you become the energy of the solution you wish to experience. The how will eventuate. Focus on the outcome and trust that the pathway there will present. Don't put your energy into trying to work out the pathways. So here we are, my friends. In a new Chinese New Year, in a new lunar cycle, with the tail end of an eclipse still occurring, a powerful time to set your intentions into what you're choosing to experience in your future. And then choosing to take empowered steps towards that. Choosing to utilize each and every breath you take on a consistent basis to facilitating those outcomes. Setting your intention is not enough. You must be willing to maintain your intentions. To bringing your mind to what you are intending to achieve or experience in the future. And be willing to take the uncomfortable steps forward. For as you align with that intended outcome, you will surely go through the process of releasing what has prevented you from having that. There's no way to circumvent that. Yes, we can lubricate your path forward. Yes, we can help you. If you choose to work with us on an ongoing way, we can definitely help you move forward and limit the amount of pain that you experience. But still, you will go through the process. It's not magic. You can't just pay someone to do it for you. It doesn't work that way. And so, my friends, above all else, remember that you are loved and you are supported and you are cherished as a being, as a divine being that you are. There is a whole team, a whole conglomeration of other bits of God that are working with you. And they honor you and they cherish you and they support you. So choose to allow yourself to receive that. It's just a choice. And that choice is available to you. Choose to keep moving forward in an empowered way and choose to be willing to receive and accept the help that is available to you. Whether it comes from spirit or whether it comes from an aspect of spirit in a human form. Help will present. The path will unfold. Your job is to maintain your intention on where you're going and be willing to bravely step forward towards that. Despite feeling the resistance, despite feeling the fear and the doubt. You are loved and you are love itself. And so it is. It is so. Now and always and in all ways. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Hey, my friends. So, allowing yourselves to take some breaths, allowing yourself to come back, gently breathing your way back into your awareness of the external world. Noticing the sounds, the smells, the taste, noticing the sensations of the object behind you, becoming present. Breathing in and feeling your presence here on this planet. You don't need to so much ground in, but please feel that you are present, right? Ground into your own heart if you don't feel comfortable grounding into the earth. Some people love grounding into the earth. Some people feel a little bit trapped by doing so. There's no rights or wrongs. You're very welcome. Those who are saying thank you, you are very welcome. And so, my friends, well done. Choose to know that any specific time in history, time, space, any astrological or astronomical portal or space is just an opportunity. There's nothing that you can miss out on. There will always be other opportunities. You know, people ask me when's the best time to initiate something or do something, and it's always the same answer, right now. Right now is always the best time. And there are obviously some side notes to that right now. Sometimes it's not the best time to initiate something when you're deep in your release. Sometimes we have to honour the discordance that we're going through as we release stuff. But in terms of energetic choice for new beginnings, my glasses on, that way the screen won't be so fuzzy. As always, right now is the time to breathe in and choose to align with what would serve you. Now, I will just put a little ad on the tail end of this. If any of you guys wish to work more with us, one of the best ways to do that, for those of you who are new to Mantara, is to check out the Mantara support community, which is a relatively, well, it's a very high valued opportunity, but it's relatively affordable for most people opportunity. It's about $33 New Zealand per month. That's about 25 US per month. And it is available from my website. I will put a link to that probably in the title, right? The Mantara Transformation and Empowerment Support Community. We do a lot of these live streams. We do a lot of calls and meditation every week, 2 longer group calls every month. You get a discount off buying sessions and stuff from the store. It is a very, very high value, affordable opportunity, in my belief. So that is available to you. Now, if there's some of you who may be wishing to work much more closely with Matt and Mantara, I have, starting in just a few days, like in 3 or 4 days time, might only be 3 days now, the Bright Light Empowerment, Bright Light Activation course, which is a higher end offering, and that is available as well, and it is starting in just a few days, the first group call, and I still have 2 spots available, which I would love someone to opt into. And I'm very, very happy if you are considering that and are not sure. I'm very, very happy to do a complimentary call with you and to chat about that. That's not Matt offering to do a free healing session for anyone who's thinking I just said that. I didn't say that. I'm very, very happy to talk to anyone who is contemplating doing the Bright Light course as to whether it would serve them, right? Which some people would call a discovery session or whatnot, right? Because the truth is I'm not so interested in taking people into a high-level course, or anything that I do for that matter, if they are not really aligned with what I do and are not going to get great results, because I enjoy seeing my clients get great results. That's just the bottom line for Matt, and I'm not interested in taking people on just to earn money, right? Money comes to me as I need it. My joy is being a facilitator, and facilitating for people who are aligned with me is obviously much more joyful than trying to facilitate with people who are in resistance to what I do. So it's important we get through that and understand that we're on the same page when we sign up for those types of higher level, more intense and intimate, powerful, transformational experiences. So, my friends, I will say goodbye, I think. If you have any questions, please feel free to keep writing them in. I will read through all of the comments. I know I haven't been able to keep up with what's flicking through my screen. I'm sure there's other comments. Please feel free to put a separate post on if you wish. If I don't manage to answer what you have requested, it is possible that I haven't seen it. So please go back and put another comment with it or ask again and tag me so that I do see it, because Facebook is continually showing me stuff and it's easy to miss stuff. And I don't intentionally wish to miss anyone's requests or comments or questions. So please be willing to ask again if I don't answer within 12 hours or so. Obviously, I do sleep through the night, and I'm not always scrolling through Facebook. That's not my primary objective in life, but I am here to serve, and I do get a lot of joy out of serving you all, and I do wish from the bottom of my heart to see you all succeed as we move forward from here. I'm very, very happy to partner with you on whatever level that might be. I'm very happy for people to stick around and just grab my free stuff as we put it out. I'm also more happy for people to join in and to really invest in themselves and in our services in whatever level they feel to. Much love to you all, my friends. Bye for now. Bye-bye.